Welcome to the Autoflame training video. Today I'm going to show you how to change the software in a Mk.7 micromodulation unit. The tools you need to change the software are here. We have a 8mm nut spinner. These are to remove the 4 pillars that are on the back of the Mk.7 M.M unit. We also have a pack of software which contains an SD card for the display information and 2 EEPROMs, one for burner control and one for micromodulation. We also have an EEPROM extractor for removing the EEPROMs. Once you've powered down the unit and removed the unit from the control panel, I will then show you how to remove and change out the software. We've removed the Mk.7 M.M unit from the control panel. I'm now going to demonstrate how to change the software. As I said earlier in my demonstration, we've got the 8mm nut spinner and we're going to remove the 4 pillars from the Mk.7. One on each corner. Once all 4 pillars have been removed, you should now be easily be able to remove the PCB board from the housing. If you lift it towards you, you will then see 2 white connectors which are connecting from the display to the PCB board. Again, these are easily removed, and now we can remove the PCB board. As I said earlier, we have an SD card for the display now, whereas the Mk.6 used to use an EEPROM, we now have an SD card. We have 2 EEPROMs, one for burner control and one for MM. The SD card must remain in its housing if you wish to utilise the language function and also the technical manual online technical manual which is on the Mk.7 touchscreen. If you don't need to use the language and the technical manual, you do not have to have the SD card present, but you do need it for loading the software. As you see, I easily remove the SD card. There's a click and the SD card can be removed. When you purchase the software, we've got the Mk.7 software here, 2 EEPROMs and 1 SD card. I'm going to load the SD card first, which again is the display information. And this is the latest version of display software for the Mk.7. So we click that into place, very straightforward, and now the EEPROMs. Okay, now I'm going to remove the EEPROM. The first EEPROM I'm going to remove is the MM, micromodulation EEPROM. And as you can see, there's 2 holes in the, one in the top right, one in the bottom left corner for the EEPROM extractor to go in. Again, gently squeeze the EEPROM together and prise out the software. Now the EEPROM chips have a cutaway on one of the corners. This cutaway must marry with the cutaway on the EEPROM housing. So again, we place the EEPROM level and then we gently push the EEPROM into the housing. Making sure that the cutaway is marrying the cutaway in the EEPROM housing, and we then push it gently in place. So again, I'll show you by removing the BC chip. We gently prise the VC chip out of the housing, and again I have the latest burner control version. Marry it up with the corner and gently put back in place. And that's the software changed. Now we have to make sure that we put the PCB board back in correctly. We're adding the 4 pillars on each corner of the Mk.7. We're using the nut spinner again, and again hand tight. You don't need to put too much force on the pillars. Okay, now that's the software in and the PCB board back into the Mk.7. Now I'm going to demonstrate how to power the unit up and to show you how the software loads on the Mk.7 M.M. And you'll see it will say do not remove MMC card. The card is now programming, and the software is now being loaded onto the graphics card of the Mk.7. This process takes approximately 2 to 3 minutes. Once all of the display software, all of the information has been downloaded from the MMC card, the next screen will say verify download. It's checking all of the information, all of the data is correct, and this process again takes around about 2 minutes. Once the software is loaded, you will then see this screen here. It says please restart device. So power the unit on and off, and then it will also ask you a second time to restart the device. This is the checksum calculation, ensuring that all the information is correct. So it says software has been upgraded, reset required. So again, we power the unit down and power the unit back up again. Now once the loading screen's finished, we have a loading data bar, and then we go to the password screen. We then go to the commission mode screen, and you can see here the button in the top centre of the screen says disabled. We now need to enable this. So this depends on whether you have a standard Mk.7, i.e. without water level, or you have a Mk.7 with Autoflame water level controls. So if I touch on the disable button, we've got standard without water level, and now you can see that you can access the commissioning side, the options and parameters. Now if the commissioning data is already in the Mk.7 unit, all you now have to do is to restart the unit. So the unit goes to the loading screen, loading the data, and then we come to the home screen, and we've successfully changed the 2 EEPROMs, burner control MM, and the display software into the Mk.7. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.